Yo, have you heard about Anchor? It's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Welcome, everyone, to the L7C Podcast, NFL edition. Today, we got wrapped in the hype. Can't even lie. We're going to be talking about the NFL schedule that just came out yesterday. And we have to have the NFL expert, the producer, Justin Ackendale. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, man. This league just doesn't stop. It just does not stop. I'm back 2 weeks later to talk about this goddamn league when I should be watching basketball right now. It's stupid.
I got basketball on mute on the TV over there.
How are my Bucks doing?
Bucks are up 2 right now in the first quarter with little under 4 minutes left.
Nice.
Bucks trying to close it out in 6 to meet Miami in the Eastern Conference Final. So, Justin, man, I don't know when this really became a thing. I know we talked about it a little bit on the last podcast, but I had the NBA on, and I was watching the ESPN schedule release party. I was.
Yeah, I was flipping between ESPN and ESPN2 last night, watching the Sixers implode. Check out our next basketball podcast, reviewing
Lord,
the NBA,
Jesus.
the second round of the NBA playoffs. We got some heat when that comes out. But yeah, I was flipping in between ESPN1 and ESPN2. I had to see that schedule release. I had to see what they had to say about it. It's a big deal. Like I said 2 weeks ago on the draft podcast, like knowing that order and like who you're facing week to week, when it's going to happen, where the games are at, this prime time, if it's at 1 o'clock, if it's at 4 o'clock, if it's Sunday, if it's Monday, like that shit matters.
Yeah, you even brought up the NBA. I'll even give a preview for the hot take for the NBA fans out there. I'm going to tell you guys right now, James Harden needs to take a pay cut or I'm not signing him. I'm going to leave it at that. But yeah, Justin, it's crazy because you've been watching this a long time, the NFL. I've been watching it for a bit as well. I just don't remember the schedule release being such a big deal.
When I was a kid, I definitely don't remember it being like a big deal at all. But like, I guess I'll say the past like 5 years or so, like I've been starting to like realize the importance of it and like how like people really take the schedule release seriously. Like, I'm interested to see what the ratings were last night of that Sixers game and the schedule release. I want to know who was watching more.
You know, it's crazy too. It's not even just the fans. The teams take it now serious. You see the teams pumping it up on social media. Shout out to the Chargers just destroying everyone in their schedule release anime opening, just going at every single team and even making the teams like different Pop-Tart flavors. Like, it's a real deal now.
That was funny. The Pop-Tarts. People on Twitter were killing that. I thought that was hilarious, personally.
It's crazy. And the Chargers, they're a favorite team right now to go pretty far when the NFL starts.
Yeah, I mean, the Chargers are... Yeah, they're good. They're a good team. I mean, let me get their schedule pulled up. Let me see how that's shaking out. Yeah, I mean, everyone's high on the Chargers. They should have been in the playoffs last year. We all know how that last game against the Raiders went. Brandon Staley just doing too much, trying to go on fourth down too much. But them not making the playoffs made their schedule not too difficult. I'm looking at it right now. They got a date with Jacksonville week 3, a date with Houston week 4. Like they had a last place schedule, so they got the Falcons in week 6. So yeah, if you're looking for not even a dark horse, because that's the best division in football, to win the AFC West, you gotta go with the Chargers, because right now it's looking like they have the easiest schedule out of all the teams in that division.
And then on the flip side, the team that's been to the AFC Championship 4 straight years, the Kansas City Chiefs, they have one of the hardest. They are, for the first time in NFL history, going to be starting with 8 straight games against teams with winning records last year. You start off right off the bat with the Cardinals, then the Chargers, then the Colts, then Tampa Bay. That's Sunday Night Football. Then the Raiders. That's Monday Night Football. Then you have the Bills. Then you have the 49ers. You get the bye, and then you come right back and play
Tennessee Sunday night.
And I also forgot to say that the Chargers game is a Thursday night football game. So out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4 of those are nationally televised games.
The first one, week 1, is too, because that's the 4:25 game on CBS. So most people are going to be watching that game. I mean, you're going to be watching the Chiefs all goddamn season. Like all those 4:25 games that I'm seeing later in the season, like that's going to be the game that CBS is going to be playing. Playoff implications are going to be on the line there. I see a game. You talked about the first 8 weeks. I'm looking at this back half. They got from week 12 to week 13. They got to play the Chargers, Rams, and the Bengals back to back.
Yeah. No, you're
yeah,
right.
It's definitely a tough go. Those first 8 games, and then we got 3 games after that bye week that are really difficult, and then kind of things get a little easier. But yeah, like the Chiefs are definitely going to be in a dogfight all year long.
Yeah, and with that, man, with this, I just don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I really don't. I just don't. And people have talked about, I'm looking too, because I'm like, that has to be the hardest schedule. But it's actually the defending champs. They have the hardest schedule in the league, apparently, from what the talking heads at ESPN were saying when they talked to Sean McVay.
Oh, the Rams?
Mm-hmm. They start off with the Chargers. That's preseason. Regular season, I'm sorry. They start off against the Bills. That's big.
Yeah, that's the first Thursday night game.
Atlanta, that's a win. Arizona. Then you got San Fran. We don't know who's going to be starting at quarterback there. You got the Cowboys. Then you got Carolina. Then you got a bye. Then you got San Fran, Tampa Bay, Arizona, New Orleans, Kansas City in a row.
I would say that you can't say the Rams have a harder schedule than the Chiefs, just off the simple fact that Chiefs are in the AFC West. So not only they got to play those, not only are they playing a first place schedule against all the other first place teams from last year, they're also their division games are against the Chargers, Raiders, and the Denver Broncos, and the Broncos have Russell Wilson now. So
that's true, but the Rams, the conference they're playing against AFC-wise is the AFC West. So you have those games because they're playing all the AFC West teams. And they have Green Bay and Tampa Bay, obviously, and the Saints and the Cardinals. They have some gimmies against Atlanta and Carolina. But if you look at that schedule, it's pretty tough because you're going against the AFC West, have to play Rodgers, have to play Brady, have to play the New Orleans Saints, who we might have to keep our eyes out on because they made a big move today.
The Saints are – I'm worried about the Saints coaching. Sean Payton's not there. So I got to see some things before I start putting the Saints in that conversation. If Sean Payton was still the coach, I would definitely put him in that conversation. Roster-wise, they're still good. They still have most of those players, those defensive players that they had, and they did add Jarvis Landry today that we will talk about later. But I'm just not sure. And then comparing them to the Rams for that game specifically, I don't think they'll beat the Rams.
Right, yeah, like you said, we're going to have to wait and see because it is going to be the first time in over a decade that it's not going to be Sean Payton coaching the Saints. But before we go to the national televised games, Justin, let's talk about the home state teams. Cleveland Browns and the Bengals. Depending on when Deshaun Watson plays, the Browns have a lot of expectations. So do the Bengals. I've seen some people on the Ohio 97.1 The Fan, when you go through each thing and say win-loss, they both had the Browns and Bengals winning double-digit games. We know that's not happening. One of these teams are not making the playoffs.
Nope.
Who is it going to be? I don't know. And we're not saying because they're not good, because if we're saying the AFC West is the toughest division in football, the AFC North has to be second. Very close.
And they're up there too. Yeah, the AFC North is definitely up there. Depending on how long the league is going to suspend Deshaun Watson, because he's going to get suspended. We just don't know how long at this point. The Browns might be the favorite to come out the AFC West off the schedule. Just looking at the schedule.
You mean the AFC North?
Yeah, the AFC North. I mean, not the
You think so?
All right, so Deshaun Watson, I would say, will at least get a 6-game suspension at the bare minimum.
All right, so he comes back week 7 against Baltimore.
Yeah, so those 6 games he would miss would be at the Carolina Panthers versus at home versus the Jets, at home versus the Steelers, away against the Falcons, at home against the Chargers, at home against the Patriots.
Besides the Patriots and Chargers,
I see 3 wins in there easily.
Yeah, depending on the Steelers, because the Steelers are just a wild card because Mike Tomlin doesn't have losing seasons.
Nah, the Steelers can beat anyone on any given Sunday, especially with the defense that they have.
Which is wild.
Yeah, so I'm not counting out the Steelers. We'll see who their quarterback is going to be between Mitchell Trubisky and Kenny Pickett, but I'm not counting them out. But yeah, that's a very easy first 6 games, if you ask me, to not have Deshaun Watson at a minimum. We don't know how long the suspension is going to be, but I think he's going to get at least 6 games.
So minimum right there is 3-3.
Yeah, that's the minimum.
And that's not bad. But then you come back, you got week 7, Baltimore. You got this, which is wild. You got the Monday night game, October 31st, Halloween against the Bengals. Then you get a bye week. You get Miami then Buffalo, Tampa Bay, Houston, Cincinnati. And then you got other stuff coming. You got Baltimore, New Orleans, Washington, Pittsburgh.
Their schedule's easy. Like even after, all right, so let's say it's a 6-game suspension. He comes back for the Baltimore and the Bengals game, and then got the bye week, and then at Miami after that. I mean, you still have the Texans in there.
Yeah.
You still have the Commanders in there. You still have the Saints in there. We all know how good they're going to be, and it's at home. So it's really easy for them. Like, it's not like on paper they should easily be a playoff team. And if Deshaun Watson, if it's like a 4-game suspension, I mean, watch out for the Browns.
Then if we go down 71, the Bengals, they start off with Pittsburgh. That's always a messy game to start with. And then you got Dallas right after, Jets, Miami, Baltimore. Those are the first 5 games. Then you got New Orleans, Atlanta, and then the Monday night game against Cleveland to round out those first 8. What do you think the Bengals could potentially look like after that first 8?
The Bengals have a hard schedule. You said Sean McVay said the Rams had the hardest schedule in the league. I think it's the Bengals. I think the league did the Bengals no favor. After their bye week in week 10, they have to go to, after their bye week, they're at Pittsburgh, at Tennessee, and then at home for the Kansas City Chiefs. After that, they have to play against the Browns at home. Mind you, Joe Burrow has never beat the Cleveland Browns in his career. He has not played against the Browns. I was at the home game against the Browns last year. He played awful at pick 6, terrible. And then after that Browns game, they gotta play Tampa, at New England after that, and then Buffalo and Baltimore in the season. So the Bengals have a very tough schedule. Like, if they rebolster the offensive line, but if they don't make like another jump to like sustain the success they had last year, they might not make the playoffs.
Yeah, that back end is bad.
Yeah, the back end is. We talk about the Chiefs' first 8 games, the Bengals' last 8 or 9 games are just as tough.
And you're just thinking about, well, obviously they're from Ohio, but Christmas Eve at New England, like that's, you already got the weather implements there, and then you're just going to go to Buffalo the day after New Year's Day. Like, that's some bad weather to go back to back.
They got the Buffalo games at home, but it's just still. I mean, their toughest games are at home with the Kansas City and the Buffalo game. They do have to go to Tampa, but yeah, it's definitely a tough road. That Dallas game will be tough too, right after the Steelers a week in week 2 as well.
Okay. Justin, man, this is from NFL.com. I don't think you've seen this yet. They ranked the top 9 primetime games.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna throw them to you. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go 9 and then work my way to 1. Number 9, they have the Colts versus the Cowboys, December 4th, 8:20, Sunday Night Football.
That's definitely a big game. AFC versus NFC. The weekend, the Sunday night game right after Thanksgiving. So Cowboys will be off 10 days rest. I don't think the Colts play on Thanksgiving this year, so they'll be off 7 days rest. Yeah, it'll definitely be a good game. Matt Ryan, that quarterback for the Colts. It'll be fun, yeah.
Number 8, the Raiders versus the Steelers. Christmas Eve, 8:15, NFL Network.
Raiders, Steelers.
I think also they're also putting the effect of playoff implications at
yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. I think it'll probably be a game with wild card implications. So I'm assuming that's why they put that on there, that one on the list. But yeah, that's definitely an interesting run. Let's see what else is on the list.
Number 7, Kansas City Chiefs at Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Sunday, October 2nd, NBC Sunday Night Football.
That's 7.
That is 7.
They got 6. They got 6 games ahead of that one.
Yes, they do.
Damn.
I mean, yeah, we obviously know this is a Super Bowl rematch. Tom Brady's 3-2 over Patrick Mahomes. Only quarterback who really has a winning record against Patrick at this point in his career. But yeah, that's number 7. Number 6, Rams at Chargers. New Year's Day, 8:20, night game, NBC.
Sunday Night Football. Yeah, that battle for LA. Hopefully the Chargers. I know the Rams are going to do their part and be probably 1 or 2 in the NFC at the bare minimum. I want to see how the Chargers do this season. I think they're going to be up there near the top of it, but we'll see. They do play in the toughest division in football, but yeah, that should be a game against two first place teams.
Number 5, Rams are back. Rams at Lambeau Field against the Packers, Monday, December 19th, 8:15 on ESPN ABC, Monday Night Football.
Aaron Rodgers, Matt Stafford. Let's see who the better quarterback is. Aaron Rodgers got a lot of shit to prove with no receivers. Let's see how he does.
You know, it's crazy too with all the drama
in that game.
All the drama with Aaron Rodgers. He's the longest tenured quarterback for a team right now.
That's wild.
With all the drama.
And I'm not surprised either.
Number 4, coming to Cincinnati. The Bengals versus the Ravens. Sunday Night Football, October 9th.
Yeah, that's going to be a great game. Hard hitting, typically Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. Ravens are definitely going to not be as bad as they were last year either, because I'm assuming the whole team won't be hurt this year.
Right. Number 3, Packers at the Bills, Sunday, October 30th, my 30th birthday, Sunday Night Football.
These Sunday night games don't be missing, man. They know where to put the best games of the weekend. That's probably going to be the best game of the weekend.
I don't know, because this is right after Browns Bengals right before Browns Bengals on Monday night. Those 2 games, that weekend might be crazy.
It definitely will be crazy.
Especially if Deshaun's playing. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we'll be on the lookout for that. The Browns. They're a sleeper team for me, man. Like, after all that drama that they went with Baker Mayfield, even and he's still on the team, I expect him not to be on that. not to be on the team in a few weeks or within the next few months. But yeah, they're definitely an interesting football team.
This one's an early one. Thursday night football, September 15th. We actually previewed it a little bit. Chargers at Chiefs.
Yeah, that's going to be a fire game. It is in early September, so I'm going to be more excited for the their second matchup whenever that is down the road.
And the number one game previewed is actually earlier. Thursday, September 8th, opening night. Bills and Rams, number one ranked primetime game right now to be excited for.
Well, some think that should have been the Super Bowl this year. That should have been the Super Bowl because I look back, I don't know if the Bengals would have been able to stop Josh Allen the way he was playing going into the playoffs. Like the Bills were absolutely on fire offensively going into the playoffs. They didn't punt one time in their game against the Patriots, and they didn't have the ball last against the Chiefs when they lost in OT. So the Bills very well could have been in the Super Bowl this year, and they get the first game against the champs next year. You'd love to see it.
It's a lot of stuff, man. Obviously, that's going to be ring night. The Bills, that's going to start the Josh Allen MVP train. He's already a leading candidate right now. Bills are a big AFC favorite. I think they're the favorite. Yeah, they're the favorites to come out, and second is Cincinnati, I think, from last betting thing I saw.
Well, let's look at the Bills' schedule and see how it's shaken up. Here, I got it pulled up right here. They start against the Rams in week 1, like we said.
Mm-hmm.
The next week against Monday Night Football next week against the Titans.
So 2 primetime games back to back.
Yeah, at Miami, at Baltimore. That's going to be a tough game against Baltimore.
You don't think Miami can be a tricky team depending on how Tua plays? They're deep. Everything else is there, but it's just him.
Bills own Miami, so no, I don't think so. Then after the Baltimore game, they got Pittsburgh, and then at Kansas City before the bye week. And then they got Green Bay after the bye, Jets, Vikings, Browns, at Detroit.
I forgot Detroit was a team.
Detroit Lions got no primetime games.
0. Yeah, I know. 0.
And you can't count the one on Thanksgiving because it's always the first one.
It's tradition for them.
And then the Bills after that Lions game, they got at the Patriots. Yeah, I can definitely see the Bills coming out. Their schedule it's tough, but the Bills are also tough too.
But yeah, I feel like they're going to run away with the AFC East. I know it's crazy to say with, sweatshirt up there in New England, but I just don't see it with New England this year. I think they're just going to run away with the AFC East.
Yeah, I don't see New England putting up a fight in the division. Let me look at their schedule real quick and see if that might change my mind looking at some of their opponents.
Unless Mac Jones just makes a tremendous leap.
No, I don't know about all that. They lost the offensive coordinator, Josh Daniels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think like you said, I think the Bills run away with the AFC East.
Justin, I know we talked about the Sunday night games not missing, but ESPN spent a lot of money on Troy Aikman and Joe Buck, and I don't think these Monday night games, I don't think they're missing to a point either. If you look at it, you're just like, ESPN spent money on those two. We're going to give them better Monday. Maybe there's 1 or 2 where I'm just like, but these are some good Monday night games.
Yeah, they're definitely some good ones. I love the first week. You got the Broncos at the Seahawks. Russell Wilson going back to Seattle week 1.
They're getting that out the way early,
right off the bat. You gotta love that. We get a double header week 2. Titans Bills on ESPN, and then Vikings Eagles on ABC at 8:30.
That's crazy. That's weird.
That's 2 games all essentially at the same time.
Yeah, usually they do the Monday Night Football where they have one game at like 7 and then one starts at like 10.
Yeah, it's a West Coast, but nah, this is two East Coast teams playing at essentially the same time. And yeah, they gave the Broncos in Seattle that week 1 by themselves because it's Russell Wilson going back to Seattle. That's why. Like, and today said, fuck it, we just gonna move the doubleheader to week 2, and then this week 3 game, Cowboys at Giants. I don't know why the Cowboys divisional, like when we play divisional teams, like I don't know why those get like so much prime time.
I do
know why. Like like it's Philly, New York, and DC. I know why, but
Dallas equals ratings, no matter how bad they are or good they are.
It's true, but I think the Giants have like 4 primetime games. The two times they play us is Monday Night Football and then Thanksgiving. So the world has to watch the Cowboys whoop the Giants' ass. They force us to. They force us to watch it.
Hey, name of the game, man. It's business. It's a business.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably one of the worser games. Washington and the Eagles, that's a game where I'm just like,
But then you talk about that Cowboys-Giants game. Then week 4, the week after that, you get Rams 49ers, and after that, you get Raiders Chiefs, and then after that, you get Broncos
Chargers.
And then they throw another dud at you. They throw another dud, Bears Patriots to give you a little break, and then the week after that, it's Bengals Browns. Like, it's fine.
Then
we don't need good game. We don't need good games every damn week.
Then Saints Ravens right after that.
Yeah, because it's too much. So
and then
like you said, that.
I think you're right, because it's looking like it's like every 2 or 3 it's really good, then a dud, because then it's Commanders, Eagles, but then you go 49ers, Cardinals, Steelers, Colts, Saints, Bucks, Patriots, Cardinals, but then you got Rams, Packers, Chargers, Colts, Bills, Bengals. That's the last. And that game, depending on their records, man, when it gets later and later, because this AFC, I know we got a couple months till we start going like our previews and stuff, but just thinking about it now, I really don't know who's coming out of the AFC. I really don't. I think it's every year, but this is one of the most important years that if you want to get in the playoffs, you got to win your division. You can't leave it to chance.
Absolutely no, because let's kind of break down the AFC. You got AFC North. You got the Browns. We think they're going to be a good team. You got the AFC Championship Bengals. We think they're going to be good. We got the Ravens. We think they're going to be good. We think they're going to bounce back. We got the Steelers. We know they ain't going to. They're going to be a hard out.
Mm-hmm. They're going to beat teams they're not supposed to beat, and they're going to ruin some people's seasons
at the bare minimum. Then we go over to the AFC West. You got the Chiefs, who've been doing this for going on 5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
You got the Chargers, who have been at the brink of breaking out. Should have made the playoffs last year. You got the Raiders, who did make the playoffs last year. There's always drama going on in Vegas, but shit, they just got Devontae Adams and re-upped on Derek Carr, so you know they're going to score some points. And then you got the Denver Broncos, who just brought in Russell Wilson. Jerry Jeudy just.
So before you even go into the other divisions, that's 8 teams. That's 8 teams already.
8 teams, and
there's only 8 teams in the playoffs, and like half of them are division champs. But continue on. Just keep for the listeners. That is 8 teams. Justin just listed who can make the playoffs.
And then let's go to the East. We know the Bills will probably run away with that division. They probably run away with that division. Miami didn't lose a game after going 0-7 last year. They did fire Brian Flores, but they're a threat.
And then the year before they were 10-6, and they were going to get in the playoffs. So, like you said, the Bills beat them by 50.
Correct. And then you got the Patriots with Bill Belichick, and they're a hard out always too.
Mm-hmm.
Then we go to the South, which is the shittiest division in the AFC.
No mention of the Jets. Even though they had probably the best. I mean,
they probably everyone's saying they probably had the best offseason, but me, Justin Ackendale, has to see it with his eyes first. I'm not putting the Jets any type of conversation. Fuck that. Jesus.
Okay. Sorry, Jets fans.
And then we're on to the South. We know what Tennessee's about. the Colts got Matt Ryan, and they were a game away from the playoffs, so they blew it because they had Carson Wentz. They got rid of him, and we know the Texans will be horrible. But Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence, year 2, Doug Peterson's the head coach. I don't know. I still believe in Trevor Lawrence, maybe, but I will know after this year if he's going to be good or not, if there's any hope for him.
I would say the problem with Jacksonville, if they win 6 games, that means one of those good teams ain't going to the playoffs because that means they beat them.
Correct.
So 4 from the AFC North, 4 from the AFC West, potentially 2 from the South, potentially 3 from the East, who all those teams combined can all make the playoffs in some way. But that's why you got to win the division because all of them ain't going. Half of them are not going to the playoffs.
Yeah, thank God for the NFL. Like, this is why the NFL added that extra wild card team for years like this in the AFC. The AFC is going to be a meat grinder. I said this on the draft podcast. Those 425 games on CBS will be the highest rated games. Those are going to be the best matchups that the league has to offer every single weekend. We talked about the primetime games. It's going to be those 425 games on CBS that are going to be the best games.
Yeah, I agree because also I do think that 425 is always. I mean, I'm a one watch all the games, but 425 I think is an easier game for a lot of people to watch because it's like, oh, last thing you're going to watch before, depending if you're going to go to sleep for school, work, and not catch Sunday night, but. At 425, right in the afternoon, right after you're done with all your Sunday stuff in church. But Justin, man, this AFC, because someone, and it's the NFL, the reason it's so popular is because every year a team that didn't make the playoffs the year before makes the playoffs. And a team that made the playoffs the year before does not make it. There's going to be a lot of 10-win teams in the AFC who don't make it. I don't even know if 10 wins cuts it. I think you got to win 12 to have a chance in the AFC now.
Well, if you win 12 games, I think you're guaranteed to go to the playoffs.
That's
what these teams should be shooting for. 12-5 for everyone. If we can get 12 games, but
there's going to be a lot.
We'll see how the AFC plays out because I think a lot of these teams are just going to be beating up on each other. A lot of these divisions are just going to be beating up on each other. So
9-8 wasn't good enough to make the AFC last year. 9-8 was easy money to make it to the NFC playoffs last year.
I mean, but if every team, like the Chiefs, for example, if they're just winning every other game, and then the Chargers are winning every other game, and then if it's all like that, then we're going to have a bunch of 10-9 win teams vying for playoff spots, and then division leaders that only have like 11 or 12 wins. So
you're going to be busy, man. This season is shaping. You're going to be busy because there's going to be points where you're going to have to break it down for us. Because I already feel like when you get to like week 14 down, there's going to be like 20 different tiebreakers. And like God. These situations and like has to get in if this person loses by 7 points this.
The thing is those tiebreakers in the NFL are so hard to fucking get your head around sometimes. Like they just be making shit up sometimes with the tiebreakers. They do.
Like the Steelers last year, last game of the season, they need this to happen. They win, Colts lose, they're in. We're like, what?
It was so much. It was making my damn head hurt trying to get all that shit situated and to talk about it into a microphone so the fans understood what I was saying.
Like it's this year is crazy, and I guess this is what the schedule release does. It gets you hyped for the season because the season is only 100-something days away.
Yeah, it's going to be June in about 2 weeks, which means the season will be which means the Hall of Fame will be in about 2 months, which means preseason is about 6 weeks away. So yeah, it's almost here.
That is crazy, but really, really quick, like we hinted to today, Jarvis Landry ended up on the Saints. So now you got Michael Thomas coming back, Jarvis Landry, and Olave. Not for the Saints, but Justin, for a team that we talk about pretty much on here. What the hell? Why did the Packers not get Jarvis Landry? What are they doing? How do you have Jarvis, Julio? I know he's injury prone, but like these receivers out there, and you don't make a move on any of them. You lost Devontae Adams.
I don't know what the hell they're doing. I did not even think about the Packers not signing him until you just said something. Because you're right, that does not make any sense. Because their receiving room right now is Alan Lazard, Valquez Scantling, and the kid from North Dakota State that they just picked up,
and the running back,
and Aaron Jones and Bob Tunyon. That's it.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know what they're doing. All the money is going to Aaron Jones and Aaron Rodgers, and I expect them to be really good. I just don't know who's going to be catching the passes for the Packers. Who's going to be catching them? But someone's going to do it, and the Packers are probably going to win 13 games and losing
and then Aaron
in their
Rodgers.
first play.
He'll get 3 straight MVPs. I guarantee it. If they go 13, he'll win a 3rd MVP in a row.
I'll tell you right now, Aaron Rodgers will not win the MVP again this year.
They love it, man.
No way in hell. I'll tell you that.
I don't think he should have got it last year.
Me neither, but I don't think he wins the MVP. Not again.
Did you hear Sean McVay? They asked him about Aaron Donald and how Sean McVay said, like, oh, I still don't know if Aaron's coming back or not.
Aaron Donald will be playing football next year. Get the fuck out of here.
They did get whatchamacallit too. They lost OBJ, but they got wide receiver from Chicago.
Allen Robinson.
So they replaced him. And obviously they still got Cooper Kupp, Matt Stafford, who's now a champion, who solidified himself.
I'm not worried about the Rams at all. They just need to get to the playoffs, and we'll see what they do in the playoffs. I'm not worried about them whatsoever. I'm a little worried about the 49ers, however, because
we don't even know who's starting at quarterback.
Yeah, and the rumors that I've been hearing around that Trey Lance might not be it from what they're saying. From what the people in San Francisco and the Bay Area have been saying, they aren't thinking Trey Lance might be it, which is why Jimmy Garoppolo is probably still on the roster. I know he's recovering from injury, but I think that's why Jimmy G hasn't been dealt yet, because they're still not sure on Trey Lance, which will look very bad if Trey Lance can't play, because they gave up a lot to trade up and get him last season.
That will be terrible. Just a couple more things before we close out. Justin already gave you the data for the Hall of Fame game. Hall of Fame game is Thursday, August 4th. Season starts September 8th. January 8th is the final day of the regular season. And then Sunday, February 12th is the Super Bowl in Glendale, Arizona. I do like when the Super Bowl is there. Justin, I also want to talk about the AFC and NFC. I sent you the thing that Colin did. Colin Cowherd, you know the Herb, Colin Cowherd. Mm-hmm. He did the tiers of the AFC and NFC quarterbacks. And when you looked at that AFC and you saw who we had as superstars, you're just like, this place is stacked.
It was so stacked. Read me those.
I'll read you both.
The one, yeah. Read those off to me again.
All right, so I'll do the AFC first. Superstars: Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, who people just forgot he was the league's MVP 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow, Russell Wilson,
yeah,
Patrick Mahomes.
Oh my God,
Derek Carr,
and
Justin Herbert.
Wow.
So that is 3, 6, 7. So then in his starters, who are people who are just like starters, veteran Matt Ryan, who if you looked at Matt Ryan's numbers, they were not bad. Like he's been throwing for a lot. And then Mac Jones. Then he had bridge quarterbacks, Davis Mills, who I feel like should be, well, I guess, because they're just using him until they're in the CJ Stroud, Bryce Young sweepstakes, maybe.
Yeah, he's a bridge quarterback.
And then Matt Tannehill.
Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, Ryan Tannehill, I'm sorry. Who has led the team to the playoffs. They were the number 1 seed in the AFC last year.
Yeah, not from anything he fucking did, though.
No. I mean, that's all King Henry. Then unknowns, Tua. We don't know what he's going to be this year. Zach Wilson, Deshaun Watson, for we already know. He has Kenny Pickett, and then Trevor Lawrence. So the most people in his categories of the AFC are most superstars or most unknown.
Yeah, and pains me to say this, but when Deshaun Watson comes back, and I don't know how much rust he's going to have from not playing in over a year, but once he gets going, he's going to be
He'll be a superstar.
Yeah, he'll be a superstar again. So that's one out of there. Trevor Lawrence, if he can bounce back and be the man that he was at Clemson, then
he'll be a starter.
He'll be a bare minimum starter. So the AFC is just absolutely stacked. The only quarterback that I'm not high on at all is Tua.
What about Zach?
Man, fuck the Jets. Like if the Jets are good, then they just good, and then I'll start worrying about them. Then I'm not projecting anything with the Jets at all.
Okay, that's fine. You go to the NFC Superstars. He only has 4: Brady, Rodgers, Stafford, Murray. And I'm not gonna lie, Murray for me is questionable. I was
about to say in the L7C on this football podcast, I don't think we will put Kyler Murray up there.
No, because he's made us
definitely know you won't.
No, because he's made us look dumb 2 years in a row. I can't do it. I'm off. We were one of the first people the Hail Murray happened, and we were like, dude needs to win MVP, and then it just went, no. So I put him in starter though. Because here's the thing, starter he has Dak, Kirk Cousins, Goff. You mean to tell me Kyler Murray is that much better than Dak Prescott and Kirk Cousins? That's a debate.
That's definitely he's definitely more exciting, but
is he better?
I ain't gonna say he better than Dak. I'll tell you that right now. He better than Kirk, but shit.
Kirk got a playoff win.
Kirk do, but shit.
Kyler gets to the playoffs and we forget it looks like he's 4'8".
I know, but I am a Kirk Cousins fan. We all know.
Yes, you are.
Kirk Cousins, when he is on, is as good as any quarterback in the NFL. He just ain't going to be on every single week. He ain't going to be on in prime time.
That's true. But when I saw that, I was like, okay. But yeah, starters were Dak, Kirk, and Goff. Bridges was Carson Wentz.
That nigga fucking garbage, bro.
Marcus Mariota, Jameis Winston, and Jimmy Garoppolo. If they play well throughout the season, I think he goes up to starter because I don't think the Saints are going to be looking for a quarterback. And I don't even know what to say about Carson and Mariota. And
bro, Carson Wentz is trash, bro. Like, I love you, Kyle Hurd, but quit defending that man, bro. He sucks.
Yeah, he does defend him a lot. Then Jimmy G, who's the bridge, that is what he is. He's a bridge, but then unknown, you got Danny Dimes.
How the hell is he unknown? We know he sucks.
Well, I think there's no suck category, so you're in the unknown.
I guess, yeah.
Jalen Hurts, who there's a lot of the Eagles schedule.
Now Jalen Hurts can pop, and
yes.
they got him. They got him some weapons too, so it's a prove it year for Jalen Hurts. Absolutely, I agree with that. He's definitely unknown.
Justin Fields
and not an unknown trash quarterback like who did I just say was unknown and trash? Danny Dimes, yeah.
Justin Fields, they gave him no help. Sam Darnold, I feel like I think the writing's been out on the wall for him for a long time.
Yeah, I was a Sam Darnold believer for the longest time, but he is officially trash now.
Drew Lock, who's going to be starting for the Seahawks.
He is also poo butt.
Yeah. And then the last unknown, the only team who has 2 quarterbacks on either of this, Trey Lance. Like with the reports you're hearing,
another truly unknown variable. Then San Francisco, I don't know if Debo Samuel's going to be playing there week 1, even though he will be playing there week 1 because they're not going to trade him. I don't know why the fuck would they I don't know why they would even think about trading him at all. Mm-hmm. Like, absolutely not. Like, we got to work this out type of thing. So, yeah, definitely an unknown, not trash.
It's going to be wild, but those quarterbacks, it's going to be something else, man. It's going to be something else. Justin, anything else, man? This has been a fun going through the schedule possibilities, and we still got our preseason before the season starts pod in a couple months from now.
Yeah, I would probably just save everything for that. Watch what goes on there in these mini camps, and then we'll be back around when training camp and preseason starts.
I think the only NFL news that could get us back earlier for the fans is if the NFL does the unthinkable and suspends Deshaun for the whole year. I think that would get us back.
That'll get me to a microphone, but I don't think he's going to get suspended for a whole year.
I don't either, but it's got to be careful. You got to be careful because this is 22 accused women. If you do it too light, they're going to come for you. If you do it too, then the PA people, the Players Association will come for you.
Yeah, like his situation is definitely something to watch out for this summer. Absolutely.
And God helps him if he gets in trouble again this summer.
Yeah. He get in trouble again. He out the league.
But I'm going to tell you right now, the whole league hates the Browns. So all the owners hate them.
He fucked it up for everyone. He fucked it up. They signed that man to a fucking all money guaranteed contract. Like he changed the game, man.
Yeah,
Browns changed the game for all the quarterbacks.
You had it from a guy who was potentially going to prison to a guy who makes $230 guaranteed now and hasn't played over a year. Only in the NFL. The NFL ain't the real world, y'all. It ain't the real world. But thank you, everyone, for listening to the L7C podcast. Thank you, Justin, for being our NFL expert. Oh, we lied. There is one more thing. Justin was going to tell us about what's the lines, the bets. I thought you had something for the fans.
I'm not about to place a bet right now on these week 1 lines. I don't know who's going to be playing.
No. Hey, they go crazy though. If you watched that preview show last night, the lines were just going nuts.
Yeah, I saw them. Like, all right, the Bengals were I think they were a 6-point favorite against the Steelers in week 1 coming up. Well, Joe Burrow gets hurt there in training camp. I have a Bengals ticket. Like,
that's true.
Yeah, I can't good conscience give y'all picks right now without knowing.
I can't wait to see when these picks come during these AFC games. I cannot wait to see those lines.
Yeah, I might be losing a lot of money this NFL season.
It's funny. But thank you, everyone, for listening to the L7C podcast. Y'all take care.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the L7C podcast. Be sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Take care.